Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm really excited to do. It is going to be all about the new Orange You Glad collection that Colourpop just came out with. Okay, so I was sitting down filming this on Wednesday. I was sitting down to film a completely different video and all of a sudden my doorbell rang and this collection showed up. I did not know that this was coming, but a big thank you to Colourpop for sending this over to me. I feel like I've been getting some of their newer releases a lot quicker to the release date, which is very exciting for me because that means I can put out a video, you know, as quickly as I can. So I'm really excited about this. This video is not sponsored, but this was sent over to me and I knew that a lot of you would be pretty interested in seeing the collection. So it's a very large collection. I go through and do live swatches of everything, including the Orange You Glad eyeshadow palette, which these monochromatic palettes are kind of like the star of the show of these collections. But I do put every single shade on my eyes. I also do a little eye look here. We also have 4 Super Shock shadows. We have a bundle of 4 Super Shocks. Swatch all of those as well. Also included in the collection, we have a blush stick duo, so a cream blush and a cream highlighter. Those are on my face. We also have a So Juicy duo, 2 of the So Juicy plumping lip glosses that I test out. Also 2 of the lippie sticks. There's a duo of those as well. And there's also a 5-piece brush bundle available in this collection. So it is available now on the Colourpop website. I do have a non-affiliate code with Colourpop. It is just 5Samantha. If you're interested in picking anything up, you get $5 off your order of 20 or more. There are exclusions with that. I don't think any palettes qualify and like their new releases don't. But if you're making a larger order and you're grabbing a few things that have already, you know, been prior released and they add up to $20, you can still get the $5 off. It is a one-time use code as well, but if you haven't used it yet and you're grabbing a few things on the Colourpop website, you can definitely use a 5Samantha. But I'm really excited to do this video. I was really excited to see this collection show up. I hope that you guys enjoy it and you find this helpful. And why don't we just go ahead and jump into it. So first up, I'm going to go ahead and live swatch all of the different shades in the Orange You Glad palette. So again, we have 9 different shades in here. I'll do a close-up and some swatches of the palette, and I'm going to go ahead and read off the Colourpop website. Again, this is $12. So the shades inside, you get Zested, a matte pale apricot, Squeeze Me, a metallic yellow orange with a gold flip, Creamsicle is a matte peachy orange, Rise and Grind is a matte vivid orange, Clementine is an orange glitter with a copper flip, Sunkissed is a matte neon tangerine, Tangerine Dreams is a metallic mid-tone red orange, Mimosa Mammy is a matte bright red orange, and Ya Peel Me is a matte mid-tone rust. We are nice and zoomed in, ready to go. So for the matte shades, I'm going to be using E25s from Sigma because I have a whole bunch of them. So just jumping right into it, I'm first going to pick up the shade Zested, and I'm actually going to take the film off this mirror because that would be very helpful for this video. First, just kind of run this along the crease, and then I will also pack it on the lid. Ooh, okay, so in the palette, it almost just looks like very muted, like maybe it would just be a very, very light shade. Like I was honestly wondering if it would show up on me, but yeah, no, that really does. Huh. This is just kind of a nice soft, like orangey apricot matte. So that is Zested blended into my crease. And I'm also going to go ahead and pack this on my lid and see what we think. Okay, so here is Zested also packed onto my lid. I would probably use this shade as a more of a blending shade, but I think it's really pretty. It's very soft. It's a very kind of like more subtle eyeshadow, but then also you have that hint of orange at the same time. So that is Zested. So in between wiping off the shadow, I'm just re-adding a little bit of concealer, and that is it. But next up, I'm going to go into the shade Squeeze Me. I'm going to use my Sigma E58. I'm first going to apply it dry to my lid, and then I will also spray my brush, and we will see what it looks like wet. Wow, that's really pretty. I do love good orange shadows because I think it looks cool with green eyes. I'm going to do just a little bit more of it with a dry brush. I think it looks cool with green eyes, and that is a really fun metallic kind of like orange gold shade. Ooh. Also gonna pick up a little bit more on that same brush and then spray it with some Fix Plus. I really like to apply shimmers, metallics with a damp brush, and we'll see how it looks. So it just kind of brought out that intensity a little bit more. Kind of almost brought out some more of the gold in this shadow. But it's still very orange at the same time. Like, this gives me Cheeto vibes. Like, I could go sit down and eat some Cheetos while wearing this eyeshadow. So that is Squeeze Me. I thought it looked really nice dry, but with a wet brush, it just looks even more metallic. Next up, we're gonna go into Creamsicle. I have another E25 here. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to first blend it in my crease here. And just a little bit more, but I really, really like this color right off the bat. It's very easy to blend. But also, I love that shade to go in as like your first crease color. Ooh, I like that. So this is our peachy orange shade, and I think that is beautiful. I'm really feeling that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same brush, and I'm just gonna pack Creamsicle onto the lid and see what we think. Ooh, I like that though. Okay, and here is Creamsicle also packed onto the lid. Honestly, this could be such a really pretty, just like one eyeshadow look, which I'm very much into very simple and quick looks as of right now, because I would totally rock this just matte orange eye. Just boom, be done. Just mascara and you're done. I'm really feeling on this shade. Next, coming into a Rise and Grind, I have another E25 here from Sigma. So going to first, ooh, that is, okay, just gonna take my time blending that out. That is a, ooh, I went a little high there, Samantha, get it together. That is a very, very vivid shade. I guess that is my fault for not actually swatching the palette first. We're just going right into it. Ooh, that is a very, very bright orange. A little carried away with this shadow, don't mind me, but I feel like even how much product I packed on there and then immediately like drew that line, I still feel like it blended out fairly easily, so that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and also take some Rise and Grind and pack that onto the lid. It's a very vibrant shade. Okay, I actually like this all over the lid as well. Again, this could be a one eyeshadow look also. You just gotta be careful when you first put it into the crease because it can get very intense very quickly. But I do really like this shadow as well. It's just a little bit more, it has a little bit more oomph than Creamsicle does, I would say. So I'm going to skip over the glitter for right now just because it's harder to remove. So we'll do that one at the end. So I'm gonna come into Sunkissed and use another E25. This one does look like a very hot orange, so I'm gonna try to go a little bit more light-handed than I did with the Rise and Grind. And I'm gonna start to work that into the crease. So off the bat, I'm noticing that I like these shadows because you can kind of pick up more product and maybe not blend as much, and then they'd be even more intense. Or you can go with less product or just take your time blending them out a little bit more, and then they kind of are a little bit more on the, just not so much as like a wham side, because orange can be, you know, very like look at me when it comes to eyeshadow looks. So I feel like you can kind of play with them a little bit, which I do like that. So that is Sunkissed, blend it out onto my crease, and then I'm also going to pick some up and pack that onto the lid. Here is Sunkissed, also add it to my lid. Next up, we're going to do Tangerine Dreams. I'm using another Sigma E58 for this one, and again I'm going to go ahead first and use a dry brush. I'm going to have to switch eyes pretty soon. This lid is kind of getting like, hey girl, what we doing, boo? This again, I get very impressed with the Colourpop metallics, because if you're not someone who likes to spray your brush, dampen your brush, you really don't have to, because some, you know, in some eyeshadow palettes, shimmers, metallics, they just don't show up if you don't use a damp brush, but Colourpop's does. But again, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my brush also so we can see what it looks like with some Fix Plus added. So, and once again, it's just bringing out the metallicness to it. That's a really beautiful gold. And a lot, that's a lot of gold. Okay, so there is the shade Tangerine Dreams. Okay, so I'm going to finish off doing the glitter on this side, and then I'll switch other eyes because, like I said, glitter is harder to remove. So this is similar to the like Honey palette that just came out. So this is more of your pressed glitter, which is pretty chunky. And let's see. Oh, actually both Clementine and Sunkissed says that they, no wait, how many? Rise and Grind, Clementine, Sunkissed, and Mimosa Mammy all say not intended for the eye area. So the other shades, those more matte shades, I'm assuming it's because they can tend to stain the eye. So you see that with, like, you know, the hot pink and purple eyeshadows, reds, things like that. They can stain your eye. So you know, that has to be on there for legal reasons. And then for Clementine, it's because it's more of that pressed glitter. So did want to throw that out there at you and let you know. But I'm just gonna pick up some Clementine with my finger here and apply onto my eyelid. Okay, so a very beautiful glitter. I'm just gonna kind of try to dust some away here because when working with glitters, it's kind of hard not to get some fallout with it. But here is Clementine. So again, very pretty. You have some gold in it. You know, you have some of those bigger glitter particles, which that is what you don't want to get in your eye because that could hurt quite badly. But if you like a glitter in the palette, I'm kind of meh about glitters on my palettes. Like, I don't need them, especially these more chunkier glitters that, you know, you just want to be careful. Like, I have some in my lashes here. I'm going to try to carefully remove them so they don't fall in my eye. I don't absolutely need it. Like, even if a Super Shock was in there, I think that would be like a good option. Or just a glitter that's just not as chunky. But there is Clementine. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the other eye. I'm going to come into Mimosa Mammy using another E25. So again, I'm going to try to go a little bit lighter on my brush here and start to work that into my crease. Ooh, that is a really fun red. Here is Mimosa Mammy. It truly gives me, like, I want a cocktail vibe. Like, that is a beautiful, it's kind of just like a red pink, kind of gives me like sunset vibes or cocktail vibes, you know, whichever one. But that's really beautiful, very easy to blend, even though it is, you know, quite intense there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply to the lid also. It's a really cool shade. Oh, I'm really feeling on this palette so far. I think that is a really fun shade. Ooh, so there is Mimosa Mammy. And then last up, the final shade in this palette is Ya Peel Me. I'm gonna use another E25. So this one looks to have more brown tones to it, but still, I think it was described as like a rust color. Ooh, yeah. Even if it wasn't described as a rust color, I'm saying that is what I would describe it as. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit more to the crease here. I'm glad that we have this shade in here. You guys know that I do, you know, love my neutrals and everything. And I like to have, you know, a nice blending brown in a palette, if you will. And I feel like I'm gonna like having this one in here because I feel like it can, you know, just give you a few options. But in addition to all the beautiful like oranges and the reds that we've had, I think that this is a nice addition to the palette. Because with this one, I feel like you could do a more neutral look with this, or you could obviously go big and do something really bright and colorful. So I like having those options in there. So here is the final shade in the palette, Ya Peel Me. I am a big fan of this one also. So far so good. Just doing the live swatches on the Orange You Glad palette. I have to say that I'm quite happy with it. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe these off, and then I'm also going to do live swatches of those 4 Super Shock shadows. Okay, so next up I'm going to try out the Super Shock shadows on my eyes. So this is the But First Quench It Foursome. This is going to be $20. So the shades in here, we have Flipper, which is a soft tangerine with a ton of silver glitter. Monkey Business is a matte neon red. Bumblebee is a ultra metallic bright yellow orange, and Let Me Pass is the pumpkin spice orange with gold glitter. Okay, so this says featuring your favorite orange shadows curated in the cutest bundle, create a perfect look for summer. So first up, I'm going to do the shade Flipper, and I'm just going to use my fingers for the Super Shock shadows. Okay, so this one here. Ooh. You know what I almost just said? I literally almost just said this feels like a Super Shock shadow. I'm not even kidding you. Those words almost came out of my mouth. Hello. Okay, so this is Flipper. So this shadow reminds me a little bit of the Super Shock that is in the Sweet Talk palette that I enjoy so much. Except obviously this one has more of just like a little peachy orange to it, but then just a ton of glitter in there, which is similar to that Side to Side, which is in the Sweet Talk palette. But here is Flipper. Next up we have Bumblebee, which I'm pretty sure I said Bumblebee when I was first doing it, because you look at it and you think Bumblebee, but it's actually Bumblebee. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and apply this one with my fingers here. This one looks like a really nice fall color, kind of like this almost like burnt orange. Definitely gives me like autumn vibes. Okay, so here is Bumblebee. Ooh, just a nice, again, I just think very fall shade, like leaves turning on the trees, falling off the trees, going back to school, all of that. There is Bumblebee. Next up we have the shade Let Me Pass. Once again, I'm just going to be using my fingers for all of these Super Shock shadows. So here is a Let Me Pass. Ooh, wow. Here is Let Me Pass, which is described as a pumpkin spice. So if you're into the pumpkin spice looks, here is that, but it also has a ton of glitter in it. Ooh, that one's really cool. Again, very, very fall tones with the orange, I think, but very beautiful in Let Me Pass. And lastly, we have the shade Monkey Business, which looks a little bit different from the last two that we just swatched here that were very orange. This one is more red. Ooh. So kind of off the bat, this reminds me a little bit of the, was it Mimosa Mammy in the palette? Just kind of that beautiful, kind of like a reddish pink. This one is a little bit more neon though, I would say, than what's in the eyeshadow palette. So this one here is in Monkey Business, so just a very neon matte red. I'm not a huge fan myself of the Super Shock formula. I know a lot of people are. I'm also just not very into single shadows. I recently did a big old declutter and decluttered a whole lot of my single shadows, so I tend to reach more for the palette, so that's what I'm really feeling. And I really like the shades in the palette more than I do some of like the darker tones of the Super Shock shadows. So yeah, kind of off the bat, that is what I think there, but I hope that you enjoyed seeing the live swatches, eye swatches of the Super Shock and also that palette. So before I finish off with the other swatches, I'm just going to do a quick little eye look here just to show you how I put it together. So I'm going to be using the palette first, and I'm going to grab one of the Colourpop brushes in that set. This is the E2, so it's just kind of a big blending brush. And I'm first going to pick up the shade Creamsicle and blend that into my crease. You can see my lid is a little bit stained from, you know, some of the different shadows that I had on. So again, that kind of like not safe for eye area. That is what that means, and that happens, like a lot of different brands have palettes that will state that if you have kind of these more almost like vibrant pigmenty type shadows, that can leave a bit of staining on your lids. Next I'm going to grab a Sigma brush. This is the Firm Blender E44, and I'm going to pick up a bit of Rise and Grind and add that to the outer corner. I'm going to grab a touch more of Creamsicle and just kind of make sure those are blended. Of course my eyes are a little bit funky. I have so much glitter fallout on this eye from removing that glitter shadow, so bear with me. I have like glitter in my brows and such, so but I just wanted to have a little something for the rest of this video instead of no eye makeup on. Next I'm actually going to grab the Super Shock in Flipper, because if you couldn't tell when I was swatching it, I really got on with this. If this was in place of Clementine, I would be so happy, because look at that, like it looks so beautiful. I like it so much more than having that chunky glitter in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and add this to my lid. And then with no additional product, I'm just going to go in with that Sigma brush. And again, just kind of blend back and forth here. For the lower lash line, I'm first going to pick up a Rise and Grind with the pencil brush from the set. This is the E10. And then I'm going to blend it out just a little bit with Zest It. But I'm first going to add Rise and Grind pretty close to my lash line. I'm just going to add some pure eyeliner to my waterline and also my tight line. This is in the shade Hotline. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm going to add some of the Colourpop Brownie Points mascara. So that's going to be my tutorial using the Orange You Glad palette and the Flipper Super Shock. I of course will be doing a bunch more so I can get a full review going for this collection, but again, I just wanted a little something for my eyes for right now. Let's finish it off with the rest of the swatches. So next up, I'm going to hop into the blush and highlight stick. So you have a cream blush and cream highlight, so these come as a duo. It is $14. So inside you have Under Pressure, which is the blush stick, which is a bright salmon, and then you also have Bullseye, which is the light stick, and this is a soft gold with a silver sparkle. So I have not tried this formula myself, so I'm excited to go ahead and give this a shot. I do have foundation concealer down. I have powder on my concealer, and then I do have some bronzer, but I didn't powder my whole face. Hopefully the bronzer won't play too much into it. I am not gonna lie, I just kind of forgot we had cream products with this one, but we'll go ahead and give it a try and see how it goes. So first up, I'm going to use the blush stick. I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit to my hand here first and then pick it up with a damp sponge. I'm going to go ahead and add to my cheeks. That is just a really nice like hint of a peachy pink, I would say, onto my cheeks. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the rest from my hand here and apply. This is usually the best way I like to apply like a cream blush. If you guys were with me when I like first attempted, I think it was liquid blush, like I went right in on my face and it was the most terrifying thing ever. So if I do it on my hand and then pick it up, that looks pretty. Like it's not too overwhelming, but just like a nice little flush there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other cheek. I think that looks pretty. Again, cream blushes aren't my absolute favorite, but I think that it applied nice. It seemed to go over top everything okay, so I like it. And then for the highlight, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Add a little bit to my hand here. So again, I'm just going to pick a little bit up with my sponge. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply to my cheeks here. It gives like a little natural glow here. I don't mind it. Don't mind it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand. I feel like I do have to use quite a bit of product though, like even for the blush and for the highlight. I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of using a lot and still getting like a really like subtle payoff. So if that's your thing, they feel nice and lightweight. Like they feel nice when I blend it out on the skin. I just don't know if it's going to be like an absolute, you know, new go-to for me personally. So there are the blush and highlight swatches. I don't know, let me know what you think if you've tried this formula before. Maybe the best way is that you've applied it, because maybe you have another way. I don't know, I feel like I can keep building up and keep building up, but I don't know. I also just kind of want to go about my day so I can reward myself for filming this video with an ice cream treat. You know? We're gonna finish off with the lip swatches. So first I'm gonna go ahead and do the So Juicy glosses. So inside you again get two different glosses here. We have She's Here and also Va Voom. These are both the So Juicy plumping lip glosses. She's Here is a warm nude. Va Voom is described as a bright tangerine with a soft golden sheen. Next up, I'm gonna go ahead and do She's Here on my lips. This one is She's Here, so again, just kind of like a clear nude. It definitely has a very minty flavor. The applicator is like nice and soft on the lips. These aren't my favorite lip products from Colourpop. I kind of find the ones that I use to be kind of streaky, and if you can already tell, like it's happening in my mouth. Like I get these like weird goopy streaks whenever I've tried their So Juicy plumping glosses, but I hear so many people who really like this formula and I'm like, I don't know, man, I can't make it work for me. But here is what she's here is looking like. And then next up we have Va Va Voom. So this one looks to be like pretty clear with some glitter in it from the swatch that I did, but we'll go ahead and see what it looks like on the lips. When I first applied it, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a lot more orange than I thought it was, but once you blend it out, again, it looks pretty clear. Like there's like a little like subtle hint of something in there, but honestly this one kind of just looks like a clear gloss once you get it all blended out. But that shade is Va Va Voom. So next up we have the Lippie Stix Duo. This is You're So Appealing Lippie Stick Duo for $10. So inside you get Chi Chi, which looks to be like a very vibrant red orange lip. It actually doesn't have a description on the Colourpop site, so that's what I'm gonna say. And then also Parker, which is a matte mid-tone warm nude. So you get the bundle for $10. Now I actually have both of these shades. Colourpop sent me a bundle of Lippie Sticks just a few weeks ago, and I looked through them and I do have both shades. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the bundle aside because I will add that into a giveaway. So I'm gonna use the two that I already have in my collection here. So first up, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch the shade Parker on my lips, which is my kind of nude. I overlined a bit on my top lip, so don't mind that, but this is Parker. If you haven't tried the Lippie Sticks, these are like my OG product from Colourpop. The first shade I ever purchased was Cookie, which is a nude. They do have different formulas to them, different finishes to them. These both in the duo are going to be the matte finish. This one here is Parker. And then lastly, last swatch, we're gonna finish it off with Chi Chi. Chi Chi is not here to play. So this is a very vibrant orange. Whoa, that is a fire shade. So this is a nice monochromatic look to go ahead and end the swatch portion here. But again, this one is Chi Chi. I kind of like in the bundle you get like a very nice nude and then like a wah bam shade. I kind of like that. I like that because some days you want to be more of a bam, some days you want to be nude. Promise. I have a romper on. I do not want to be nude today, sitting in front of my window. So that is going to wrap it up for all of these swatches. Again, just real quick, you do have a brush set here. So this is the Juice World brush bundle. That does retail for $20. You get 5 different brushes inside, a mini duo fiber face brush, a tapered blending brush, a large shader brush, a small pencil brush, and also a medium shader brush. So you can also pick up a brush bundle if you would be curious. I only used 2 of the brushes today, but I'll definitely be trying out some more of the brushes. I haven't tried a lot of Colourpop brushes, and I think I've only tried a handful of their face ones. So I'm excited to also get a few eye brushes in this set here, but that is also included in the collection, the Juice World brush set. But after that, that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video, going over the new Colourpop Orange You Glad collection, live swatches of everything, a little tutorial. This was a lot. I'm excited to edit it though, and I hope that I can get it up for Thursday. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I would love to know, did you purchase the palette? Anything else in the collection? Were you super excited? What colors have Colourpop not done right now? I can't even think off the top of my head, but what do you think would be coming next if they're going to do another monochromatic palette? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments, of course. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this one, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.